Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Stardew Scatterbrain. We're on episode 2, kicking it off. I recorded last episode just yesterday. I don't know when this is going to come out, but it might come out today, it might come out tomorrow. Who knows? It is the Stardew Scatterbrain after all. Either way, today's topic is, what does it mean to be cool? Or more importantly, what does it mean to be the king of cool? So, the king of cool was a college paper. I say college paper. It was a college class, to be fair, that I had to write with the prompt of what does it mean to be cool. Now, there's many different directions other students went with this, and I'm proud to share to you guys all today where I went with this. I did get an A plus after all, not to toot my own horn, but I am reliable. I did cite my sources. You will see it is, once again, not to toot my own horn, a great paper. Probably one of my favorite, one of my best. Also, as you can see, we're on day 5 of fall in Stardew Valley. I did I did a little bit off camera. I will be doing that a lot. I freaking love this game. See, I got a barn, I got some cows, I did some mining, got some more chickens. Just a little bit of everything you can do in this game, and God, I can't get enough. Point being, the King of Cool. Dean Martin, or commonly known as Dino, was a member of the Rat Pack, and was most importantly deemed the King of Cool during the late 40s. How couldn't he be cool? He gambled in Vegas, hung around Frank Sinatra, and could have any lady swoon with his charming baritone singing. There's no doubt Martin lived a high life and that he was in fact the King of Cool. But how exactly cool was he? Sure, he was perceived as cool on the outside, but there might be more to being cool, let alone being the king of it, than one may first think. To be cool requires a very delicate balance of doing something that shows that you go your own way, but you do it in a way that is socially acceptable. Eric Hoffe. According to the article Science of Cool by author Eric Hoffe, being cool is broken down into 4 points. 1. Social perception. 2. Relativity. 3. Positivity. And 4. Diverging. To start with social perception, just because you believe that something is cool doesn't necessarily mean that it's cool. Cool is a title given to you and is not something you can just give yourself. Compare this to maybe a childhood nickname. Nobody is going to call you something like Daredevil just because you'd want them to. You need to do something worthy of, or memorable to obtain that nickname. If somebody is truly quote unquote cool, then it needs to stick and needs to catch on. This example can be seen with clothing brands like Hollister and Nike. After all, how do you forget a company whose catchphrase is "just do it"? However, coolness can leave in sorry. Coolness can leave to come back at a later date with perhaps an even greater following than beforehand. For this, you can look at examples such as things considered vintage, like vinyl records or Converse shoes. But your Converse shoes aren't as nearly cool as a new pair of Jordans. With this, we enter our second point, which is relativity. Yes, maybe something is cool, but there might be something even cooler out there. This is this is all, of course, decided by what society thinks, but as social creatures, we tend to agree. This leaves for a need of wanting more. That being the next fad or phase that everyone finds hip. A great example would be gaming consoles. Your PlayStation 2 will never be as cool as your PlayStation 3, and your PlayStation 3 will never be as cool as your PlayStation 4, and so on. Society keeps moving on for something cooler as we're an innovative species. The caveman wouldn't think their wood-fired grill would be so cool anymore if you showed them an electric grill. The third point Hafe makes is that to be cool is to be universally positive. This is less objective as nobody necessarily describes to, or wants to be the opposite, which would be universally negative. To be cool means to be positively accepted as like a news story, as a person saving a dog from a fire, or a kid beating cancer would be taken by the public eye. All in all, nobody tries to be hated or shunned by society, so this means to be cool is to be praised or welcomed. Then the fourth, final point that's stated in the article is the fact that being cool is, sorry. Then the final fourth point that's stated in the article is that the fact that cool things diverge or are different from the norm. This is the most obvious point, yet in my opinion the most important, as you can't expect to be cool by following the herd, but at the same time you don't want to be a whole different animal, so to speak. Let me explain. As the article states that, quote unquote, too much coolness can be a bad thing in the long run, the author is summarizing that Trying too hard to be cool can lead to something being unconventional or deemed lame entirely. Just as the nicknames before, you can't try to be cool or else society might title you as a poser or a wannabe. So with this being, yes, you want to shift from the norm. Wow. With this being, yes, you want to shift from the norm, but not to the point of burning your wings off like Icarus. I believe that these are all incredible points that Eric Hoffe brings up in his article, but there's more to being cool than the article it's on. Being cool can be determined by what society judges, but that's not always the case. To be cool means to be rather calm and collected when under pressure or being judged by society. You can be deemed as cool by society, but what does it mean to be cool to yourself? As stated before, humans are social creatures and therefore always seeking validation. But criticism, now that not everyone takes so lightly. Even if we think we can, most probably we feel some type of guilt after being critiqued, no matter if it's from someone we know well or not. In the article "Giving or Taking Criticism: Stay Cool, Calm, and Collected" by Henry Weisinger, PhD, if you can stay cool and calm during the criticism counter, then you will be able to deal with the situation more effectively because you will prevent your emotions in the form of defensiveness from getting the best of you. Weisinger 5. What Weisinger is getting across in this statement is that the ability to stay cool, calm, and collected, we better utilize criticism given to us without our defensive emotion getting in the way of that happening. Although criticism is more important, Although criticism is important, it isn't the only instance where being cool is necessary. The world as we know is becoming more and more stressful. Bills, mental issues, the news channel you watch, all these can be stress factors in your daily life, and it's so easy to let it overtake you. However, with the ability to remain cool, these factors and more can be easier to manage. It's reasons like this why the number of college applications for a psychology major is at an all-time high, and people are seeking a therapist for anger management, among other issues. I personally know several classmates of mine off the top of my head that for, plan to go off to college for just that reason. It's simply because the demand for anger management or counseling, or the ability to remain cool, is at such a demand that it makes sense why psychology was the third most popular major among college students in the classes of 2022 and 2023. The share of college students majoring in psychology now hovers around 6%, up from 4 to 5% in the 1980s. Reynolds 4. This statement comes directly from author Pamela Reynolds in her blog for Harvard titled "Why Choose Psychology as Your College Major." The article can be inspiring to young applicants who are looking for a major into psychology, but it can also be looked at in the greater scheme, which is an actual reason why psychology is at an all-time high. Society is at a greater point of understanding therapy than ever before, and people are gaining the mindset of being able to keep their cool. The difference between these two definitions of quote unquote cool is rather major, as for one, they are obviously not the same thing. But for second, I would go as far as to say it's more important to keep your cool than to be perceived as cool. People spend too much time worrying about how we come off to other people than we are about our own mentality. And that can be a great problem, or possibly even lethal if gone unchecked. People might read Hoffe's article looking for a way to stick out more in the world, and that is perfectly fine. The problem is that too many articles are telling you who you are rather than helping you with how you are. And in most extreme cases where this can be lethal, what's the point of trying to act cool if you aren't there to be cool in the first place? Nobody can change history, as Dean Martin will always be cemented in history as the quote unquote king of cool with his name plastered everywhere in Las Vegas. But maybe we can all be our own king of cool that doesn't have to be so flashy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is The King of Cool by yours truly. I hope you all enjoyed, and hope you all took something out of that, maybe learned something, or just enjoyed a nice little story. All in all, make sure you like, subscribe, comment your thoughts as always, and this has been the episode 2 of the Stardew Scatterbrain, and this is your host, Rocket Blast 1, or Jacob, or the Stardew Scatterbrain, signing out. Peace.